We did it, Thunder. We did it.
Okay, David.
It's official. No.
Hold your horses, David.
Hold on,
I throw that first F-bomb. Yes, you cry, you shouted, you demanded, you bitch. You told everybody we want Cody.
Did you just call me a bitch? Did you just call me a bitch?
No, I said you bitch.
Oh.
I don't call you bitch.
You just called me a bitch. You just called me a bitch.
You want to be a bitch?
You're no
David,
different.
You call yourself a bitch.
You're no different than the Twitter trolls out there that have been saying the same thing about me last week.
Oh my God, I'm already clapping already, and I had 3 sips of coffee. David, yes, that you were the first person. Let's be honest, David. Who called you first last week when Cody Rhodes and all that, and you were so mad, and they told me, hey, you need to call your homie, bro. Probably Dave is completely heartbroken. What did I do? I called you because you were heartbroken. You were so heartbroken. You went out there and you told the Busted Open Nation, hashtag we want Cody. Then you all did that, all this stuff, and I was like, yo, come on, bro. Like, it's not that serious. There's some real issues in the world, but no, the pro wrestling world stopped, and everybody demanded one thing: we want Cody. And what do you guys do? You went out there, you trolled WWE, you almost canceled The Rock again. Then The Rock goes full heel on your asses, smacks bitch in the face, and then you got Cody in WrestleMania. How about that? And then you're happy now. Look at you, David. It's like the glow is back in your face. You actually did your hair and you took a shower after
I showered.
like a week long of depression from not getting what you wanted. But you got what you wanted yesterday. You got what you wanted. The Rock had one of the best performances in the world. The best. If he was to act like that in Black Adam was probably going to be a blockbuster movie, but he didn't. He waited for WrestleMania.
He half-assed it. He half-assed it because he was waiting for the performance that he put on last night. A few things, Thunder, and you're right. I mean, all you had to do was see the videos from our show on Monday. I was in my robe. My hair was a mess. I had the 5 o'clock shadow at 9 a.m. in the morning. Like, there was a lot going on. But I even said it, Thunder, on our show Monday morning, is I gave you a shout out because you did. You called me Friday night to see if I was okay. And then you followed up and called me on Saturday morning to see if I was okay. So, we're such good friends, and I appreciate that, you were looking out for me and checking in on me. But there's a few things here. First and foremost, and again, I say this all the time, this is the greatest form of entertainment out there is professional wrestling. It's so much fun. And the emotional roller coaster that us as fans have gone through since you and I, Thunder, signed off on the show last Friday. Think about this past week in the WWE and how crazy it's been, the social media outcry, what took place Friday on SmackDown, what took place Monday on Raw, and just the ups and downs of this last week. Triple H said it all the time, and I agree. When pro wrestling is done right, it's an art form. And this last week, and I don't want to hear about, well, you got work. Yes, that's the fun of it. The fun of it, and this is what drives me nuts sometimes about wrestling fans. Yes, LaGreca got worked. Dave LaGreca got worked. So what? So what? That's the beauty in it. Don't you want to be? Don't you want to take the bait and be totally swerved like I was, where you think they're going one way and then they go another? I mean, that's the fun when you don't know what's around the bend. You don't know what's coming up. You really have no clue. And then it hits you, and then it hits you right here in the heart. And you're emotionally connected. Man, I thought last night in that press conference, Thunder, and the way it started, I'm like, oh, gosh, a little cringeworthy. But then as soon as it got fired up with Roman and The Rock, Seth and Cody, man, they had me. And I actually watched it, Thunder, with our producer, Paul, because I took Paul out for his birthday, and we had dinner, and we were watching it at a bar. Okay? That's right. People wanted to watch the stupid Devils game and the Rangers game. And I was like, do you know who I am? That's right. I'm Dave LaGreca.
God.
Put the press conference on. Put it on. And then, of course, they told me to get the hell out of there. They're putting the Ranger game on. They're putting the Devil game on. So go sit in the chair in the corner. And me and Paul actually watched it on our phone. But Paul will tell you, I was like a kid again. I was pounding the table. I was jumping up and down. I was so excited. That's what wrestling is supposed to do with you. On Sunday, Thunder, people are going to be jumping out off their couch, jumping off their chair while they're watching the Super Bowl. And they're going to be cheering their favorite teams. To me, pro wrestling is no different than that. That's what pro wrestling is to me. And I'm a Cody fan. And it seems, Thunder, as of right now, as of this moment, and I'm saying as of this moment because we still have 2 months before we get to Philadelphia and WrestleMania 40. At this moment right now, Thunder, the main event for WrestleMania is Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship.
Well, it is. And you know what, David? It's just like, to me, as a wrestler and also as a fan of professional wrestling, it was incredible. People, before all this happened, people were the people wanted it, and we had a couple shows, and we were talking about this. They wanted The Rock. Then you give them The Rock, and then this all this turnaround of things happen in the world in professional wrestling stopped for a whole week.
Yep.
And everybody was arguing about it. It's just like, it is interesting to me when people ask for something and they get it, but that's not exactly what they wanted. Now they're changing their mind, and it seemed like WWE had to like backtrack and do magic. Oh, let's throw a press conference. Let's throw a big press conference, kickoff show before WrestleMania, which is the first thing that they've done. That I'm assuming. I was reading
an
right
arena
now.
full of people. I've never seen that before.
Yeah,
in any forum that they had like an arena full of people for a press conference with the
see the power. This is what I'm saying. When you, as a person, have something that really drives you, and you get together with a bunch of people that feel the same way, sometimes you can make change. And I'm not only talking about booking a wrestling show. Just remember what you guys just did this week. I think maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this would, like you were saying, it was meant to be like this all along. You guys asked for it. You guys cry for it, and this is what you wanted. I haven't seen this in a while, and where the booking of such a magnitude is changed because people outcried and people just pour into social media to say, we don't want this, we want this, and they made it happen. That was kind of weird. Let me not lie about it. Some people got bitched out in that, to me, and even CM Punk was like, the whole entire time at the end of the kickoff was saying, I'll be throwing punches if people were talking to me like that. I'll slap you back. When you slap me back, I'll slap you back. I will never let anybody touch me like that. Let them fight. Yeah. For me, it was kind of like the way that certain things happen, and we're going to get into it later, was when I was watching, I was like, stop punking people like that. Like Seth Rollins got punked the whole entire time. That pissed me off. It pissed me off. And he took it like a man.
It almost felt like, and I actually rewatched it. I watched it with Paul, and then I actually rewatched it with Violetta last night. And even Violetta saying, why is he there? He just seems so out of place. And I understand that they needed him there because Cody was going to make his decision. So I guess they wanted to have people think that he might be going after the World Heavyweight Championship. But man, did he look like, trying to shove a circle through a square hole. Like, it just felt like he was completely out of place in that press conference last night.
Oh, and he was, and when I was watching this yesterday, it brought me back to my childhood times, and where I used to get out of school. Just listen to this. Little Thunder Rosa used to get out of elementary school, walk to her house, get up fideo soup, and she'll start eating it and watching her soap operas. That's how I feel yesterday. That was the level of dramaticism that existed as I was watching this unfold.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? Did you used to call them your stories? Is that because I know my mom and my grandmother would call the soap operas their stories? I gotta go home and watch my stories.
No, I used to be like, I'm gonna go and watch the novelas, and then the funny thing is, if you know the cover song before the song, you can't fast forward. Back then, we didn't have fast forward, so you have to listen to the song, and you'll be singing to the song, and then the scene comes out, and it's something super dramatic. So that's exactly what I watched yesterday. Straight up Mexican novela action, and when people are calling bitches to each other, there's two families fighting, David.
Yep.
Two families, one royal family, the bloodline, and then you have the Rhodes, and then one is better than the other. No, it's not. Shut up. And it's just, everybody's getting, mad. And then the next chapter, what's going to happen in the next chapter? Then The Rock is being all bitchy to Triple H and tells him that he needs to get his shit together because they insulted his family. Oh my God. The premise of the best novellas I ever seen in my life. So if you don't like novellas, don't tell me you don't like novellas. You are watching a novella every single week, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times a week.
Well, this is storytelling. This is storytelling, Thunder. You're 100% right. There's layers to it, and it's not done because you just mentioned the end afterwards and there's a lot to unpack here. And we're going to kind of go through the whole, not only just the press conference, but the whole day, because I actually put out an emergency podcast.
Yes, you did.
Yesterday, which I thought was a genius idea by me. Pat myself on the back.
Oh my God. That's why we're #1 podcast in the United States. So let's remind people that.
So I had to go and because I was emotional after seeing what The Rock said on Pat McAfee's show yesterday afternoon, and it's available now. It's available now because this is why The Rock is great in any character and any person that wants to get you emotionally connected in a story. When I heard The Rock on Pat McAfee's show and he talked about grown men and the Cody crybabies, I took that personal. It was almost like The Rock was talking to me. When I heard his word, no, I know he wasn't. I know he wasn't, Thunder. But when somebody is so good like The Rock is, and they are talking, they make it seem like they're talking directly to you. And when I heard him on Pat McAfee, when he was insulting the Cody fans, I felt like he was talking to me personally. Go ahead, Thunder.
David, when he said the line and where the woman said, "Hey, baby, you want to have sex?" "No, honey, wait, because I will have to wait until Cody finishes his story." I'm not going to lie. I thought of you, David.
Yeah. Well, go listen to my emergency podcast that's available on the Busted Open podcast, because I spit out truths when it comes to that, Thunder. So you may want to listen to that as well. Okay? But I actually feel, and there's going to be a lot of speculation because you just said it. Did they change the course over the last week because the WWE were not prepared for the backlash that they got when The Rock came out there last Friday night on SmackDown? Were they expecting the WWE universe to take him back with open arms? And when they didn't, did they change the course? And listen, there's nothing, by the way, Thunder, there's nothing wrong with doing that. If you feel like it's going,
it's the way they set it up. They set it up purposely to make Cody look like a bitch. And that's why everybody was pissed, because I think if it would have been set up completely different, people would have been like, okay, respect. I mean, that's WWE. They would have talked shit about WWE. But they didn't like that on purpose. And it's the same thing that they did on this conference. They make look set like a punk. They've been insulting him this whole entire time. And then they smack Cody again without the opportunity for Cody to retaliate. Why? Because we have to continue the story. I really do hope that there is a good payoff for both of them. As a performer, when you have to do certain things to make other people look good that will make your character gonna diminish, it's rough because you suffer from a lot of criticism from the fans. And yes, I know he's probably not gonna be reading or anything, but it's just like, man, you gotta deal with all this. And I mean, again, if this is the reaction that WWE wanted, they got it. They got it. They stopped. Like, people stopped their trails. People stopped talking about certain things that that were really important to talk about, because they want to talk about what happened and how it was set up. You were extremely furious. I have never seen you this upset, David, in a long, long time, which of course makes great radio. However, personally, you were hurt as a fan, as a child fan from that you are and you continue to be, which is really cool. You were really hurt. I went and talked to a couple of my friends too. They were pissed. They were furious about this situation. So I can only imagine, if you're trying to get buys, you are going to get buys. People are going to tune into this because they're very emotionally invested in this story.
And Thunder, I think in a lot of ways, is that if you look at the last 10, 15 years in the WWE, us as fans have gotten burned. And there's a lot of different situations where, you know what, they had a story that was brewing and building, and then as they got closer to WrestleMania, they changed the course to bring in a returning legend. Whether it's The Rock, whether it's Goldberg, like there's a Brock Lesnar, where they have brought back a returning legend right in the 11th hour when they were building a story. And I feel like, us as WWE fans have felt that before, and they're like, are they doing that to us again? Because over the last 2 years, with Triple H in charge of creative, everything's been great. Everything's been fine. And they haven't done those. They've dotted their I's and they've crossed their T's creatively. But I felt like when The Rock came back, everybody kind of went back to thinking, oh my God, are they going to do this again? Perfect example would be leading up to WrestleMania 33 in Orlando. The big story for the championship was the Festival of Friendship with Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens. And it was great storytelling. And that was the story as we got closer and closer to WrestleMania. But what happened? Just a couple of months before WrestleMania, they bring back Goldberg. And they have Goldberg win the championship. And then what I thought was the main event story between Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho was the second match on the card at WrestleMania 33. Then you also think about the last time I really think that they've changed the course because of the fans' feelings was Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 30.
Yeah. Where
they really expected that the WWE Universe was just going to accept a returning Batista, and then, we're going to completely forget about Daniel Bryan. Or all the times that the WWE, when they tried to force feed a babyface Roman Reigns. I think now they have said it. And maybe, again, we're going to take a lot of phone calls, I know, today. And I'm interested to hear from the nation what they thought of last night. And do they think they did change the course over the last 7 days because of people's reaction after SmackDown last Friday? And if they did, Thunder, that's awesome. That's what you want. Follow the tide. Follow how the fans are feeling and how emotionally they are connected with the people on their TV. Though, Thunder, go ahead. Go ahead.
David, it's been a 2 year in the making. Like, of course, people wanted this stuff. I'm sorry, another F-bomb.
And I'm not even dropping. I'm not dropping the F-bombs today. No, you are.
It's like last year, dude. He came in hot and whatever. Boom, boom. He does that shit and that's it. Winning 2 times the Royal Rumble and then coming in and not getting anything. Like, come on, man. Like, the fans are not stupid. The fans follow. The fans are investing. Okay, Cody Rhodes was #1 in merchandise sales. That tells you not only people were complaining on social media, people were buying their merchandise to be like, he is our guy. He is the guy. He's the baby face. He should be the face of WWE. Look at it. We're doing it with numbers. People showed up with numbers. And I'm not only talking about ratings. I'm talking about money invested in the stuff. If the fans always gather together, like I said, and do this, you guys can probably swerve things really, really well by showing up with numbers.
I believe that The Rock, because he is a part of the board of directors, he's not just a wrestler anymore. He's a boss. And I feel like he's going to put obstacles in Cody's way before we get to that main event match at WrestleMania 40. And I'm in it. I'm all in for it, Thunder. I can every single Monday Night Raw and every single SmackDown before we get to Philadelphia is going to be must watch. You are not going to be able to miss a Monday Night Raw or a SmackDown. You're going to have to watch every single episode before we get to WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia. Our very good friend, the one and only, Mark Henry. Mark, good morning to you, buddy.
Good morning, guys. I'm sitting here in my apartment in New York, and I had to listen to the show because I knew that, Dave, you would be able to feel a lot of vindication and validation of what you talked about when we got the announcement last week. I want to go on record right now saying, yes, The Rock was talking to you. He was talking to you. And I'm the tallest trees get the most wind. You led the charge. The people took the charge, but you led it. And when regimes fall, they don't talk about soldier number 1, 2, and 3. They talk about the general. They talk about the colonel that gave the order. You gave the order. So yes, you were being talked about. Crybaby ass Dave LaGreca.
and you know what, Mark? And Mark, I'm fine with it. Like, I actually went right to Twitter after The Rock made that statement, and I said, "Yep, I'm a Cody crybaby, and I'm proud of it. I own it. I lean into it. I'm completely fine with it." And it's just like when people on social media or wherever call me a Mark. Yeah, I am. I'm a Mark with a national radio show. Like, I use my voice every single day. So you want to call me? Yeah. You want to call me a Mark? Go right ahead. Call me a Mark. I'll wear it on my sleeve. I'm proud of it. Now, really quick, Mark, and I can't wait for this because I want to get more into this discussion and what you said. First of all, thank you for saying that. That means a lot to me because coming from you, Mark, to say that about my fandom, I truly appreciate it. But I do want to give a little shit. Go ahead, Thunder. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say this sounds like when Triple H and The Rock were talking. He was talking about the egos. Just David, just make sure your ego doesn't like get like this big.
No. Wait, Mark.
No. Your ego and your faith and your belief in yourself is paramount in any industry, especially pro wrestling. Own that shit. That is you. And that's what makes people special, is the fact that they believed in themselves so blindly and that they're willing to risk their life for it. I know I sound like the Matrix, but that was exactly where I got it from.
Yes, you do.
That's exactly where I got it from.
And I will say this, and I think I speak for everybody. What is the most appealing aspect of a person? What is the most, like, the biggest turn on, so to speak? Is confidence,
personality,
and it's just confidence. Charisma. Of like, yeah, it's just like that is what you want. You want to shine in those ways. And like, listen, I'll be the first to admit, when God made me, I got a lot of shortcomings. Okay, you know, if you're gonna go to 1 to 10, like, don't in the video game, hey, listen, like a portobello mushroom. I don't care. You could go 1 to 10. You could go 1 to 10. And you know what? I'm not 10 in many places, but I know my strengths and I know my weaknesses, and it's got me that far. I'm completely fine with it, my friend.
You know how my mind works. You just are portable mushroom. No, I'm traumatized.
Let's move on.
Let me text Violetta right now. Violetta, is it true that he's a portable mushroom? Yep. I'm traumatized.
A lot of girth. I will say. Them
heart pills, brother. Heart pills. I'm about to say to you, brother.
I am so excited for the next 2 months, Thunder and Mark. I am excited from what I saw last night in that press conference. I'm excited where this story is going. I'm excited to see this character in The Rock. This is unlike The Rock that we've seen any time in recent memory. You know, Mark, I said it right at the start of the show. Pro wrestling is an art, and I really felt that was in full display during that press conference, especially the end of that press conference last night, Mark.
It is art. And, everybody was, including Jacob, who there's nobody on earth, Dave, including you, that loves Cody more than Jacob. Jacob has Cody's original mask. The mask, when he hurt his face, cracked his orbit bone, Cody gave that to him.
Wow.
When he was a little boy. Jacob has it in a glass case in our game room. And he talks about Cody like an older brother. And the way that he broke it down to me made me dial back. I stepped back. He said, no. He said, Cody needs this. Cody needs to be trivialized. Cody needs to be made look like a punk. But at the end of the day, when Cody beats The Rock and when Cody beats Roman Reigns, he is going to reach in wrestling when they say God mode. Like we don't get those type of guys very often in wrestling. That, Triple H was one of those guys that can, any night of the week, all year long, they could get the job done. Bret Hart was one of those guys. Any night of the week, against anybody, all year long, he can get the job done. Cody is one of those type of guys. He's got great endurance. He hardly ever gets hurt. And he looks the part as well as is the part. But we talked about this, Dave, when Cody lost last year. He needed seasoning. He needed to go through the ups and downs. This is the down was last week. And now it's a up again. And we got a little over a month, maybe a month and a half, to get everything solidified. And I promise you, that story is going to get told. Did you hear the show last Saturday?
Yes.
I was a broken man. I had lost faith. I had lost hope. And I just said, you know what? Screw this. And I wanted to not watch wrestling for a little while just to get my mind right.
I felt the same way. I felt the same. I watched NXT Vengeance Day on Sunday, and I got to tell you, it was difficult for me to watch that show because after what I saw on Friday night, I was dejected. I understand exactly where Mark is coming from, Thunder.
No, and you know what, too, David? It's like this has happened so many times in professional wrestling, and where somebody's super hot, and then somebody that doesn't even deserve or needs to be there takes the shine away from the person. Like, it has happened so many times. That's why you were heartbroken so many times, especially for WrestleMania stuff. It's just like an unusual thing that happened. And now that things are changing, you're like, all right, okay, now you make me really believe again. Because we had been heartbroken so many times that sometimes you don't know if you should believe it, if you should buy it. And it hurts to watch it. And I can tell you, as a performer, sometimes I'm just like, yeah, this shit sucks. Because it happens. It happens in real life. It comes home way too much, where you work your ass off all the time, showing up, doing what you're supposed to do, and then somebody else with more shine, probably more popular, who has more stroke and clout, comes in, and you're like, get out of here. It's my turn.
Yeah.
Hell?